Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Greg Lawson. I'm a paranormal researcher in Central Texas. I concentrate on phenomenology, anomalistics, and paralistics. If you don't know what that is, look it up. So I have a lot of friends of mine that contact me and they say, hey, you're going to Transylvania, you're going to England, you're going to Ireland, you're going to Michigan, you're going to all these places to these paranormal conferences. What is it that you do? And so this video is going to address a little bit of that. My wife and I, Lynn and I, just got back from England, and we participated in the SAGE Paracon. MJ Dixon and Duncan Dixon were phenomenal. MJ did an incredible job, and I can't thank her enough for inviting us over there and to allow us to participate in that. In the Paracon, I got to work with a lot of different people. I got to work with Jeff Belanger again. I got to meet Frank Sinelli and work with him. Carl Hutchinson. I wish that I would have had more time to spend with Carl. We had one good conversation, but the rest of it got diffused with adult beverages, debauchery, and other things. But I would have liked to have spent a little bit more time with him. Liz Cornell. She said some things while I was there at the Paracon that actually changed my perspective on some of these paranormal investigations a little bit. And there was a whole bunch of other people that I got to work with, Ashley and others. And I really learned a lot and really appreciate everybody's participation in it. We got to participate in the investigation of Warwickshire Castle, because people in Texas don't know how to talk. Warwickshire Castle. So I know all you people over in Britain are going, Warwickshire, really? Yeah. Okay, Warwickshire. I tried. And got to do all kinds of really interesting things, work with a lot of different people that night, and come up with some fairly anomalous, weird stuff going on over there at Warwickshire. So, MJ asked me to come over and do the presentation on Roswell. And so what I did was I went over and did my presentation based on the Roswell Army Airfield investigation of the Roswell incident. And so what that entailed was reviewing the people that were involved and what they came up with. In this case, you have to look at what happened prior to the Roswell incident. There was several reports of unusual flying objects or unidentified flying objects in the area. One was from a guy named Kenneth Arnold. Kenneth was a pilot. He was flying around in Washington State, and he saw some unidentified objects flying in formation in the area, and they were defying what he believed was the physics at the time, and they were traveling at a very high rate of speed. So he reported this to the media, and the media disseminated this information. The interesting thing about the media is there's a thing what I call media morphing. You tell them your words, you tell them their story, and then they retell it in their words and turn it into their story. So out of this, the objects that were reported by Kenneth Arnold turned into flying saucers. So that's where we get the word flying saucer is from, pretty much from the media. So Kenneth Arnold reported this. A few weeks later, there was a sheep rancher in New Mexico riding his horse out checking his fences after an electrical storm, and he came across a debris field. He looked at this debris field. It looked strange. He might have or not have collected a little bit of the debris, but it took him about 2 or 3 weeks before he collected up enough debris to actually take it in and show it to anyone of authority. So that's what he does, is he takes it into Roswell and he shows it to Sheriff Wilcox. Well, Sheriff Wilcox takes a look at it and goes, this is out of my jurisdiction. I don't know what this stuff is. Let's turn it over to the Roswell Army Airfield. So they decide to do that, and Intelligence Officer Major Jesse Marcel gets the assignment. He gets this information, and he, along with 2 counterintelligence officers, a Captain Cavett and a Sergeant Rickett, they go out to the Proctor Ranch out in the high desert of New Mexico, which there's not much out there but rocks, sand, a little bit of prairie grass, a lot of cactus, and some scrub brush. So they get out there late, they stay the night, the next morning they go out and they collect up this debris. They take the debris and they transport it back to Roswell Army Airfield. Well, Major Jesse Marcel then shows it to the commander of the Roswell Army Airfield, Colonel Blanchard. Colonel Blanchard takes a look at it and he does a press release. And that press release reads, Roswell Army Airfield captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. Now, Major Jesse Marcel is the intelligence officer for the 509th Bomb Wing, the only nuclear bomb capable organization in the world. Colonel Blanchard is in charge of the whole thing, and they reported a flying saucer. So, out of that, Colonel Blanchard's boss, General Ramey, looks at this and goes, "Whoa, get that stuff to Carswell Air Force Base where General Ramey is so he can take a look at it." So Jesse Marcel packs his stuff up and flies it to Carswell. General Ramey then takes a look at it along with Colonel DeBose, some other people, and they set up a photography op, a photo op, and they take pictures of this stuff. And what they take pictures of are just common weather balloon material. That's it. So what you have is just common weather balloon material, and they do a press release, and the press release says General Ramey empties Roswell saucer, debunks Roswell flying disc, and that's it. There was a lot of things that happened during this, and it's obvious that what Mac Brazel recovered out there was a weather balloon, and that the intelligence officer for the 509th Bomb Wing and the guy that was in charge, Colonel Blanchard, just don't know the difference between weather balloons and flying saucers. So Mac Brazel feels like he's been harassed, and he does another little piece in the newspaper saying he's been harassed. If he ever finds anything ever again, he's certainly not going to tell anybody about it. So that's the end of this case. That's a closed case. We solved it. It was just a weather balloon. And so that's what happened at the Roswell Army Airfield in 1947. And that's what was reported. And so case closed. If you have any other questions or anything concerning this or anything else I can do for you, you can go to my website. It's www.authorgreglawson.com, or you can go to www.theparanormaldetective.com, and I'll help you solve your mystery or look at your evidence that you have. I'll be happy to do so. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover. I think that's pretty much it. That's the Roswell incident in a nutshell. Makes sense, right? I mean, there couldn't be any more to it.